This is One on One. We are pleased to be joined by Sergeant Tom Rich, cybersecurity expert and keynote speaker. Good to see you, Sergeant.
Nice to see you.
We have teenage kids. There are millions out there with teenage kids and different ages. What is the problem when it comes to online activities with our kids?
Well, the biggest problem is no monitoring, really. I mean, there's a lot of things that are out there that our kids are doing that as parents, we unfortunately have a struggle in trying to keep up with all the changing technology. So it has to be a constant, ongoing conversation about how to protect them.
So the other day, our 12-year-old was engaged in Minecraft, right? I know what it is. I've poked in, looked, I said, Chris, what's going on there? What should I be doing?
Well, Minecraft, there's 3 different ways you can play. You can play like a pocket edition where there's no online connectivity. You can play on a iPad type of device with similar...
I hear him talking to 5 other kids.
Right. So now you go online. Now the issue is it becomes a digital server. So it's like a digital room that your kid can go into and start to build things and pretty much be approached by anyone. Now,
What do you mean anyone? I know the 5 kids that he's on.
Well, similar with Roblox. It's a very similar platform.
Roblox?
Same thing. Digital room. They can play different games. You go into what they call a digital server.
It's a different video game.
And there's other people walking around that can come up and start to chat with your child.
How can they do that?
It's just the way the platform's set up. You go into a chat feature, which is top left, and then you put in a command and you can start chatting or talking. But there's a way to turn it off and make it very easy so your kid can still play it and not have to worry about those dangers.
So the kid, hold on, the kid, okay, our kid's in there, any kid. And all of a sudden, somebody comes on and says, hey, are your parents home?
Yep, absolutely. How old are you? Where are you from? What's your phone number? Do you exchange pictures? It happens every day, all day.
Advice to us right now. How do we allow our kids enough freedom to play with their friends in cyber world, but try to keep them safe?
Well, I think it's a very similar conversation, just like going to school or riding your bike around the neighborhood. I have an 11-year-old, and we have this same conversation. I said, you're allowed to go on YouTube, you're allowed to go on Minecraft, but I want to know if anybody either approaches you or I turn the chat feature off. So when he plays Roblox or he plays Minecraft, he's able to have fun and do the things that most of his friends want to do. But I don't allow the chat feature so total strangers can't come in and
So you should cut off that chat feature.
Sure.
It's easy to do.
Very simple.
You actually, did you make the reference to the white van?
I did. So I do presentations all over the world. Currently I've spoken to over 1 million people throughout the United States and Canada. And my recent comparison to the cell phone or a device is, I call it the creepy white van.
The creepy white van.
And the kids laugh because it's my reference to being a police officer. So I said, if you're walking home from school and the creepy white van pulls up and says, where's my puppy? Can you give me directions? Can you help me with something? They run and they tell everybody, parents, teachers, cops.
That's right.
But the same exact thing happens online, and we talk to total strangers, and they don't think anything of it. They think that they're protected because they're in their house, they're in that little town of theirs. But we're having that same problem, that same issue. They're talking to strangers every day. Sergeant,
talk to us about cyberbullying. How extensive? How do we deal with it?
Well, we have to deal with it on many different levels because I think a lot of times it comes down to perception. So there are kids who are truly being bullied, need help, need somebody to step up for them. My mission has always been to empower our youth to step up for each other.
For each other?
For each other.
Give us a for instance, because I actually had a conversation with our older son who's 14, and I said, Nick, if you saw a kid saying such and such online, and I described it, he goes, Dad, that's not bullying. And what I was describing was somebody, what I thought was shaming another kid, describing that kid physically and mocking that kid. He said, Dad, that's not bullying. And I said, well, where's the line for bullying?
Right. Well, it comes down to perception. So if I say something to you that you don't take as offensive, it may not be what we'll call bullying, but if the person sitting next to you doesn't take that same angle or doesn't take it in the same way, then it's like, well, wait a minute, he's picking on me, he's bullying me. Here's what I've always said. In a society that's always connected, we've all become very disconnected with each other. Because when I talk to kids, I'm like, you wouldn't say that to their face.
That's right.
So what gives you the courage, the keyboard courage, I call it, to go online and say,
courage.
It's unbelievable. They say things that, oh, that's not what I meant. I was just kidding, LOL.
So LOL, yeah, right. So what is it that we're supposed to, okay, so what is it that we are supposed to tell our kids? What advice do we tell our kids, we share with our kids as to what is expected of them online?
Well, I think it comes back to basic core principles. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. And I've been saying it even before I started doing public speaking. Wrong people, wrong places, wrong time. If you're hanging out with people who you know are treating other people wrong, or you see it online, you don't want them to be your friends, number one. But number two, you should feel empowered to step up and say, you know what, you need to knock it off.
Sergeant, I've also seen some, I'm not even going to say young women, some girls, I've talked to our sons about this, who have posted things online, boys as well, but young girls who are dressed in a certain way, say certain things, and inappropriately.
Yeah.
And my son will say, well, Dad, they're just trying to get, quote, more likes.
Yep.
Talk to me about that.
Well, like for like, follow for follow. So if I can get you to like a picture, I'll like it back. If I can get you to follow, I'll follow back. It's all about self-esteem, self-confidence, and they think that if they have 1,000 likes, 1,000 followers, then that makes me pretty.
Well, how's that much different than us? I mean, I care about how many Twitter followers I have, but how is it different for a 14-year-old?
Well, the difference is when you look at a 14-year-old who may be reaching that puberty age where they want that self-accept, well, the self-pressure, first of all, versus peer pressure is huge. So if I post a picture and I get 5 likes, and you post a picture and you get 50, now all of a sudden I'm not the popular kid, I'm not pretty.
I am.
And it changes the self-esteem just from whether you get likes or not.
So what are some of those kids willing to do to get more likes, more clicks?
That's where we have a problem with things like Snapchat. So we'll start to take some type of inappropriate pictures, we'll send them through a platform that may disappear, which we know it doesn't, but the way the platform is set up, they think it does, and it's creating major issues and putting kids in crisis.
It is. By the way, Georgette, what was the thing about filters on your computers? How safe? We think they're going to. We think we're protecting our kids from inappropriate material. Help us know what's real and what's not.
Well, it depends. If you are going to filter through a modem, where you're going to set it up in the household, and anybody who goes through a certain modem to go online, you can filter things that way. But if you're going by app or by device, it becomes a little different. Because something as similar as like YouTube. If you're on YouTube and you're looking at videos, most of our kids say, I didn't look up that video, I was looking up X.
Yes.
But it's the related videos that are now...
Including that could be pornographic material.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Boy, Sergeant Tom Rich is doing such important work out there, and we appreciate you joining us and helping so many people. Cybersecurity expert, keynote speaker, check him out and get him to help you in your community. Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you very much.
There. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you so much, Sergeant.
No problem. Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Felician University, Bartley Healthcare, New Jersey Sharing Network, Johnson & Johnson, the Give Something Back Foundation, Adler Aphasia Center, and by the New Jersey Office of the Insurance Fraud Prosecutor. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.